Freaking out, man. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men with power want? More power.
My name is Gianluca Zanna. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a drill. If you're listening to this broadcasting, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom.
We're not afraid.
Here we go, guys and girls. Another Sunday, another show. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM and all United States .fm network. You know, there is something in life that never goes away. It's pain and misery from corrupted government. And, you know, we can see this in every aspect of our life. You know, you can see us local level, city level, county level, doesn't matter. But when it comes down to from federal level, it's another type of flavor. You can really see and feel the power, okay? Because after all, when they put you in that target, in that crosshair, they want to make an example out of you, and they will use all our resources to just say, you know what, you're going down, even when you don't deserve to do that. But guess what? I always believe that the spirit of resistance never dies. And I believe that at the end, the truth will come out. Unfortunately, many good people had to pay the sacrifice. But regardless, we have to do and keep doing what we are doing and hopefully do even more. Many of you say, look, what the hell are you talking? What type of, mushroom did you eat? I don't eat any mushrooms besides porcini, and I'm very much conscious what I'm saying. What I want to bring you back on today, and by the way, if I sound tired, I am tired. I had a really long day, but today it's exactly Monday. I know you're listening to this show on Sunday, but this is exactly the Monday of the let's say, the end, at least the partial end of the trial in Las Vegas of the federal case against the Bundys. I've been having on my show several times, probably since the beginning, since I was there, by the way, witnessing all this, a lot of these guys. And of course, I also had members of their families, because most of them are now facing trial, or they had trial, and they're rotting in jail. So the point is, I had already on my show this lady, who is the wife of what the media called them, the sniper from the highway sniper, or whatever, Eric J. Parker. And I had also, of course, his wife just a few weeks ago. We were waiting for the trial. Today, the trial, at least, had the first ending, some results. I want to give you directly the opportunity to listen to her from her voice. I want to know exactly the details. I've been holding to read even more information because I wanted really to hear from her. She's there. She's been there since day one. And so I wanted to know more. But before I go ahead, personal note. I saw the last few weeks on Facebook, some from my Facebook friends. Oh, Luca, you must be there now. You must be there in front of the courthouse. You must go there and report. First of all, nobody tell me what I must do. And I want to try to be polite here, okay? Because some of you, I respect you. I think you are good people. We agree on many of the things normally we do. But don't you dare to go out and preach and tell others what to do. Maybe I have my own good reasons why I don't go there. Maybe I don't need to tell you everything on the air. More important, I was there. The most important day. I was there shaking the hands of Eric J. Parker and other guys because I was there documenting with my little video camera the event. When many of you that tell me that I should go there to Las Vegas to witness the trial, you were even there that day, risking maybe a bullet in your head, or only God knows what, to be arrested. I was there with these guys. So please stop telling me what should I do, where should I go, okay? Because if I don't go, maybe I have my own good reasons. Maybe I don't need to go there. Maybe, after all, I am not, Hannity or whatever, one of these radio host guys that they have budgets and shows. I have many things I do in my life, and I try to dedicate all my spare time to this as a cause. I don't do this show for the money. I couldn't care less. I don't need it. I'm here because and by the way, doing this show and bringing the guests I bring and talking and exposing myself to the things I say. You guys maybe don't have idea. I may be the next one to face a trial. You understand that? Because in these days, you don't need to do anything illegal to fear the prosecution of the federal government. All you need to do is, hey, I agree with that person. Hey, my opinion is that you corrupted government. You're really corrupt. Guess what? You're part of a conspiracy, according to the latest news from this trial, prosecutor, and of course the judge. So please, as a friend, I tell you, stop telling me what should I do and in which trial should I go attending. Maybe I should even go close to a trial or to a court case with a corrupted judge and a prosecutor that is smelling blood, and they try to bring everybody they can in that can. So just please bear with me, okay? Now let me shut up. I need to finish this Zanna coffee because normally calm me down when I'm a little stressed out at night. Coffee, I know many of you guys normally wake you up. The morning wakes me up. At night it relaxes me. So 1 second only, Andrea, I'm there. Let me bring now Andrea Parker, the wife of Eric J. Parker. Andrea, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, hopefully forgive me for my little monologue and you didn't fall asleep. I know you're tired, but I had to pull it out. I had to spell it out. I had these people on Facebook the last few times. So, oh, Luca, you should go there, report from the courthouse. First of all, I'm a regular guy, okay? I have family, I have things to feed and animals to take care, and I do my best, and I forgive me if I cannot do everything I wish. But more important, maybe, as I said, I always rely on people like you or other witnesses that can give me better information than for me just go in there and maybe get arrested myself. Am I clear? Andrea, what do you think?
Yes, absolutely.
Because maybe people don't think what's going on here really. They just see the face and they think, okay, just those people on trial, that's it. Everybody else is safe. No, maybe we are not safe at all here. I mean, look what happened to Bundy's father. The moment they stepped out of his own jurisdiction, they went to an airport, they just handcuffed him. So anyway, I'm not afraid, be clear, but I don't want to make this life easier for these bastards. That's the bottom line. Now, Andrea, give us the details. I give you the floor. I promise I'll shut up. Tell us exactly what happened today in court. What's going on or what happened?
Well, we wait out front of the courthouse waiting to hear when we can go inside for jury questions. And at 10 o'clock today, they said they had a partial verdict. And so we went upstairs, and the judge said that she was going to let them give her the partial verdict and then going to give them the Allen instruction, which is the instruction to go back and re-deliberate all over again and try to come to a unanimous decision. So when they came in the room, they gave their partial verdict. Now, their partial verdict was count 1 and count 2, they could not come to an agreement.
What are these
count
counts?
5,
well, excuse me,
count 1 is and 2 are both the conspiracy charges, and they could not unanimously find the conspiracy charges anything. It was a hung jury there.
Good.
Count 5, assault on a federal officer. They found Gregory Burleson guilty.
The spy, the rat, the federal informant. Okay. Wow.
Yes.
Oh,
count 6, the use and carry of a firearm. This is the 924C that's attached to count 5. They found him guilty.
Wow.
Then there's a part that they asked if it was brandished, and they said yes.
Wow.
Count 8, threatening a federal officer. They found Gregory Burleson guilty. Jeez. Count 9, use and carry of a firearm. And this is another 924C that's attached to the count 8, and they found him guilty of that. And then there's also a part where they had to see if they brandished it, and they found that he did. Count 12, obstruction to justice. They found him guilty. Wow. Count 14, interference with commerce extortion. They found him guilty. Count 15, use and carry of a firearm. This is another 924C that's attached to count 14. They found him guilty. And then they did find that he brandished the weapon. Each of the 924Cs, you also have to see if he brandished the weapon. And then count 16, interstate travel to aid extortion. They found him guilty. So they found him guilty on everything except for the count 1 and 2 were the 2 conspiracy charges.
I'm confused.
They only came to a...
Andrea,
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I mean, I'm kind of confused. This guy's supposed to be the informant for the FBI. That's what the federal government, how they pay him back. I mean, what's going on here? I don't understand.
Well, they said that they let him go in 2013, and I'm not really sure what's going on here. But you can see that the jury, after viewing his longbow and some of his Facebook posts, where he says things like, those Metro officers better watch out or I'll burn their houses down with their wives and children in them.
Wow.
You know,
I missed that.
They didn't like him.
No,
Yes.
I don't think they did. Oh, wow.
Now,
a little karma.
they did find Todd Engel. He is from Idaho. They found him guilty of count 12, obstruction of justice, and they also found him guilty of count 16, interstate travel to aid extortion. Now, I don't really understand either one of these. We'll go back to count 12, obstruction of justice. Todd Engel, in his case, proved that he was working with Nevada Highway Patrol during the time that the standoff on the bridge was happening. Now, he wasn't even on the bridge, but he's getting an obstruction of justice. So that's really confusing to me.
Yeah.
And then interstate travel to aid extortion. Well, nobody else, did he aid Gregory Burleson in extortion then? Because nobody else was found guilty of anything.
That's weird.
So all other counts for all other defendants are hung jury. Now, we did get to find out that the conspiracy charges, the jurors go in with the lawyers and they try to figure out what they did good and what they did bad. And they found out the numbers for count 1 and count 2 were 10-2. 10 were for not guilty for acquittal, and 2 were holdouts. And that is the same for Ricky Loveland and Stephen Stewart. On all charges, it was 10 acquittal, 2 holding out. So that was quite interesting. Then we get to Eric Parker, and he had 7 for acquittal, 5 for guilty.
Wow.
So a 7-5 that's a really good hung jury. And and mind you, this is with the government giving everything they've got this entire case. They went for 2 months long. They called 40 witnesses.
Wow.
And the defense got 3 days and called 3 witnesses, one of them being Eric Parker. So if he got a 7-5 ratio this time, if we are able to get Dan Love on the stand, if we are able to get our witnesses on the stand, there's no way that they're going to get this. A 7-5 is a hung jury no matter how long you make them go back and deliberate for.
Yeah, exactly. I have a question.
So I also...
Go ahead, please.
Go ahead.
Finish. Then I have a question. Go ahead.
I also heard that in the Las Vegas Review-Journal, they were... Stephen Myrie quoted saying that they're not sure if they're going to retry this case.
Really? So what does it mean? Everybody home?
He didn't say they're not, but they're going to have to look into it because this costs the taxpayers a lot of money to do all of this.
Yeah.
And if they do go ahead with the new trial date of June 26th, it's going to push back both other trials. The other trial with Cliven and the Bundys themselves was supposed to start June 26th, and they would have to push that back and push the other trial back. That means that there could be guys that are sitting in prison that won't see a courtroom till 2018.
I mean, this is insane. I mean,
they'll be incarcerated for 2 years.
I mean, that's exactly my point. Out there, please, even if you think that your opinion... the Bundys and all the supporters went down, that they are terrible people. The point is, if you will believe in the rule of law, and more important, in the process, the due process, okay? Because so far, I don't see any due process. I see that everybody should be, innocent until proven guilty, But meanwhile, we are all guilty until proven innocent. And that's terrible because we are talking about people here. First of all, I think 99% of them, besides Greg Burleson, that he was a scumbag anyway. All these guys, they have a clean record. They working people. They are not like dangerous to society. Okay, so they didn't kill anybody. They didn't harm anybody. We can discuss what really happened. But meanwhile, they deserve to go home, stay home, and continue their lives. Meanwhile, they have the chance to have the day in front of a jury, the day in court. So meanwhile, you cannot put somebody 5 years, 4 years in jail just because you don't like him. I mean, that's, for me, devastating. It shows the corruption that I was talking before and the abuse of power of this government. That's scary, man. They can take 3-4 years out of your life and then say, sorry, not even sorry, we were wrong, you're free to go now. And then what do? I'm disgusted. Please continue.
I think the other thing that's really important here is Gregory Burleson, even all of his guilties, there was really no crime committed.
I understand.
So he was found guilty based on his speech. And that's a scary idea.
Yeah, I
agree.
agree.
He was found guilty based on things he posted on Facebook and things he said when undercover FBI agents were feeding him alcohol.
Oh, wow.
That's a concern for every American.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Have you ever been upset with someone and said, I'm going to kill you? Like, oh, I could just kill that person?
No.
Could you imagine being tried and sent to prison for that, for saying that? It's like the thought police.
No, by the way, one second. I completely agree with you. At the same time, I always say to everybody out there, in general, when I teach CCW classes, okay, never use the word kill. Even if you're just upset, even if you're just joking around, never use it. Because even technically, you can do as an expression, as a sort of whatever, they still can be used against you. But the point is now they're really using it against you. This is exactly the proof that you're proving the point. My gosh. I mean, that's serious stuff. They don't just say give you a slap on your hands. If they can put you they can find you guilty for conspiracy just because you put some post, maybe you're under alcohol, maybe you're just stressed out, maybe you lost your mind for a moment, but you didn't kill anybody. We're talking about years in jail. Am I right or wrong? How many years can face Mr. Burleson?
I think it's 75 years because he was found guilty on everything. I'm not sure how many years the two conspiracy counts hold. And it's also very possible that both Todd Engel and Gregory Burleson will be in the next trial if they do go through with it, because they both have counts that they were not found guilty or not guilty of.
Wow, I understand. No, this is, and I tell you, I really believe that how can they leave out very important pieces of this trial? We're talking about, like Special Agent Dan Love. I mean, one of the I don't know, is the foundation about this stuff, and it's still out. I mean, he never had a chance to, the defense lawyer, they never had a chance to subpoena him. I mean, to have him in front of a jury, right?
No. He was not in. And also, Sheriff Gillespie, who was the sheriff at the time, he was not there either. So all the key players never made it to the courtroom.
That's insane.
And the government was trying to hide things, and I think that came out when the jury was talking as well. The jury didn't like, and this is a quote from Leventhal, Scott Drexler's lawyer.
Yeah.
The jury didn't like that they brought all this huge amounts of evidence. The jury didn't like and didn't believe their witnesses' testimony. And that's because a lot of these witnesses, like Officer Tom Jenkins over at Metro, coming in and saying that all of his guys in the skirmish line were crying and trying to call their family members because they thought they were going to die. And he also made a comment, white men were pointing guns at me all day. And he made another comment that when the BLM were leaving, everyone was pointing weapons at them. Now, in the videos, it shows that all of those things are lies.
Yeah.
And so I think the government was really trying to put on this play, this theatrics for the jury, and they looked at it as not good.
This is a point. I believe you're right. When they start to completely create and they force this, even the jury that normally say, "What's going on here?" I mean, normally they can see through. Thank God. I mean, thank God the people can still use their brain. At least some of them. Now, my point is, of course, it would be nice today that the beautiful. Even, of course, there will be still a completely devastation all the years that you had to spend, and more important, your husband and other friends, our other brothers there in prison. But I was dreaming for a moment today, hey, maybe the jury today say, it's clear, everybody goes home. but at least it wasn't like the opposite. Let's look at the positive. Could it be devastating news on the other side? So how do you feel yourself, though, about today's verdict? Does it give you hope a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. I know that me and Eric were worried about the assault charge because there is the picture with him in the prone position, and it came back, even with the assault charge, it came back 7-5.
Yeah.
So this is a win for us.
Yeah.
Also, then, you've been talking about this for a long time, but not a lot of media has been talking about this. If you Google the Bundy Ranch trial right now,
Yeah.
they've got articles all over the place.
Yeah.
We are winning the information war.
Yeah.
We are changing the narrative and getting it out there. So I really feel like, this is not a win for the government. They are probably sitting there thinking, what are we going to do for this next one?
Yeah.
And they're going to try us, or if they choose to try us again on June 26th, we're bringing our A game with all new approach at this, and we're going to bring Dan Love. So I think that this is a huge win for us.
And, I want to remind everybody why this is so important. First of all, I believe, as human beings, as Americans, when we know somebody who is facing terrible consequences, not even consequences, this is not a consequence, this is just an act of deliberate terror into the life of Americans. There is a consequence when you do something bad. So far, they treat these people like they already been guilty. And that's the most important thing right now that I'm concerned. I mean, I cannot believe that in America they can treat somebody who did not harm anybody, who has no previous records. They've been a great element of society, working people with families, and they destroy their lives, their homes, their work, their jobs, and they don't even have a chance to have, I'm sure if, let's say, it was a bank robber or a child molester, right now would have a bail, would have been out, and probably would have never been facing all these, 70, 80 years. This is insane. This is insane. That's the most devastating thing. And then, of course, when we look at facts, I mean, that shows really what type of corruption we have. But the sad thing is, if we don't do something to care about these people now, the gate is going to be open, and these devils, they're going to go after any one of us. I mean, maybe don't understand why it's so important, this trial. It will set the precedent that now if you say something on the internet, on Facebook, even if you put a like on some cause that could be somehow, let's say, judged by the government like subversive, or they don't like what you're saying, you can be guilty by association. I mean, technically, remind me, because this is important, I've been thinking a lot about it. Any one of us, even myself, just because I was there with my video camera and with my little microphone, I could be found guilty of association. Am I right or wrong, according to what you heard a few weeks ago?
Yes, you can be called an unindicted co-conspirator, especially in this case.
Yeah, and by the remind me again, my name will come out one time, right? During the trial, you were there. I want to be sure I heard the right.
Yes, you were named an unindicted co-conspirator, and I believe they shared the picture with you and Eric and Scott, and I was actually called an unindicted co-conspirator, and I never left Idaho.
Wow.
I was an unindicted co-conspirator for commenting on one of Stephen Stewart's posts about them coming home.
Wow. Just because I went down there, I shook the hands to your, to your husband and to Scott. And by the way, I would do this again over and over. I don't care how many times you put me in jail. I have the freedom to shake hands to anybody I want. Okay? Bottom line. I didn't harm anybody. I was there with my camera, with my video camera, and you tell me that now I am potentially the next person to face a judge and a jury, and of course, more important, the prosecution of these, ungodly. I don't even want to call about ungodly. This is a come from the devil, for God's sake. These people, how can be somebody a prosecutor, go back to sleep at night and kiss their wives and their husband, wherever they are, men, women, I don't know, and think that they're doing a service to this country. All they're doing, they're destroying lives. They know that we are good people, and we, for sure, even if we are not good. And I'm not saying that I'm holy, okay? I'm a regular guy. But for God's sake, I don't deserve. Your husband doesn't deserve, and all these guys don't deserve to rot in jail just because we have different political ideas, just because we exercise our basic rights as human beings, as America. That's disgusting. So, but as I said, I would do this over and over and over and over. And I'm proud to say that even with this little humble, little local show, I was there before even I went there. I was interviewing the Bundys before even the event happened. And I remember that after I interviewed, there was my first interview with one of the Bundys. I think it was exactly, I forgot his name. My brain is fuming. No, Hammond. What is the other one that? Anyway, one of the brothers. Okay? Ryan. I think it was Ryan. My first interview was Ryan. The moment that I finished my interview, my phone, my cell phone, because doing interview, I said, okay, I would like to come there and document all this information with my own eyes. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was like a sci-fi movie, a thriller movie. My cell phone, that is very private normally, at least used to be private, he started to ring every hour for 24 hours, unknown number. And so my home number, every hour for 24 hours, unknown number. I don't know what happened. All I know that, after this sort of, technology mystery, I went on Facebook, not on Facebook, on YouTube. I said, I don't know who you are, guys, but I do not give a damn. And yes, now I really will go to meet the Bundys. I want to see with my own eyes what you're doing, bastards of federal government. And I say bastard with all my heart. Because what you do to these people, pointing loaded guns to Americans who are exercising their rights. And, more important, taking properties like that and using violence on women and unarmed men. That's no America. This behavior belongs to, I don't know. I don't even think in Russia do this stuff anymore, seriously. So I'm sorry, I'm sounding a little irritated, especially with people. And then they tell me, oh, you should go to court. You face there, stay there. You know what? You guys, where you were the day of the standoff? I would like to ask any of you where you were. I'm sorry if I sound frustrated tonight, but I am a little bit. I'm sure you understand why, Andrea. But I want to give you the floor. Whatever you want to say, please.
Well, in your case, I think that it was almost more dangerous that you brought your camera. And getting the information out is what scares them right now.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the most important thing that we can do. And that's what I've been doing the whole time I've been down here. And now I'm looking at having to come back.
Yeah.
And do this all over again.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that the kids will be out of school by that time, so it's going to be easier for me to be able to leave.
Yeah.
But it's not been easy to have to leave my home in Idaho and come up here and do this.
It's a trouble.
I do have some links that I could share with you to keep you informed.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a website. It's bundyranchstandoff.info. We've been having updates on that, a lot of the court documents and things that come through there. We also have www.helpfreeclivenbundy.org. I'll spell it out, helpfreecliven, CLIVENBUNDY.org. And that's going to give you information on any of these trials and everything that's going on. So, we've done live streams and updates from the courthouse the entire time, and the mainstream media wasn't really there except for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I would check them out. They've had some really good articles.
Wow.
At the end, today when we came downstairs, every news team was there. They had a helicopter running over us, and they had 30 Metro officers sitting down on the top of the steps.
Wow.
So it definitely, we're turning some eyes, and I hope that when we come back and do this again, we'll have even more people watching. You can always watch my live streams on my Facebook page, Guilty Until Proven Innocent.
Yeah, exactly.
The pictures of me and my husband and our kids. And I will post my live streams on there. So
I have a question.
That's all I have for right now. We're just going with getting ready for the next.
I have the final question. Did you have a chance to talk in person to Eric, your husband, today?
I've talked to him on the phone, but not in person.
Not in person. Okay. So how did it sound?
He is very excited,
Okay.
to hear that they were 7 to 5. That's huge.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how long the judge made them go back and deliberate. Yeah. They were hung. Yeah. And now the government and the U.S. Attorney's Office has to decide if they're going to spend the money to try this case again. and it's a lot of money, and they're already over budget with all these trials, and we're only through one. So it's a very good possibility that they won't recharge them. And
now he's under the Trump
So we're
administration. I mean, I'm wondering now, really. I mean, before there was an excuse. There wasn't an excuse at all. Of course, we're talking about, we know very well, the Harry Reid, the Obama administration, their plan, the BLM. That's now the regime supposed to be changed. I mean, Trump, what did he say during the election? Was he going to look into this or not? I mean, now everything can stop right now. Not even the 26th. I mean, the new Attorney General, what is he doing now? What do you think?
the new Attorney General is actually Stephen Myrie, who has been one of the lead prosecutors on this case. And when they fired Daniel Bogdan, or he quit, I don't know how that works, Stephen Myrie was put in as the temporary, and he was the one quoted saying they're not sure if they're going to retry this.
Okay.
So this is coming from the Nevada U.S. Attorney, or head U.S. Attorney, I guess.
But what's about Mr. Session? I mean, the big chief, Attorney General Session. Is he not? I mean, he's the guy after all. I mean, I know that probably
exactly, and I think that they're going to have to get approval to retry this case, and I think that that's why they're worried.
I hope so. I mean,
that they're not going to get the approval. The DOJ is going to sit there and go through the transcripts here and see the numbers and see that they didn't have a case in the first place.
Exactly.
And they tried to railroad us, and they were unable to win. And so in our books, this is a win.
And I hope really that maybe there is some good, mean, aggressive litigation attorney. And I pray that after all this is over and they say, no, sorry, we're not going to retrial, because after all, we were a bunch of idiots the first time. And this attorney, he will get your case and all the case of the guys right now rotting in jail for no reason, deny the basic due process, and they will sue the crap out of the federal government. I really pray that. Because I tell you, I think it's priceless what they done to you guys. I mean, just the missing, a graduation, or just the missing like a birthday. I mean, of your son and your birthday. I mean, just the point that you may have lost your home and losing jobs. I mean, losing hours and days out of your life that you cannot stay with your family. Because even if you had to face trial, as I said, let's look at the basic of this country. What's supposed to be the due process? You're supposed to be able to post bail. Okay, that's the bottom line. They don't treat you. They shouldn't treat you like you are Jack the Ripper. Okay, or what is the guy? The innocent lamb. I mean, the serial killer. Try to eat people with your own hands. I mean, give me a break. Anyway, listen, I pray for you. One day at a time, we will win. We must resist. Hey, you're right. Resistance that's the key. The key word. And, people out there, before you open your mouth and start to judge others, I really pray, do your part. I don't go out and judge others. I do my little part, whatever I can. And I would do it over and over. Like I know Eric would do this over and over, maybe in a different way. But I know these people, they did the right thing, what they thought that was the right thing at the time, for sure. And I'm proud to call them brothers and sisters. I never denied this, and I will never deny this, even in front of a corrupted judge. She can go to hell. I know she's a woman. Anyway, I'll let you go, darling, okay? I'm sure they're listening to the show, by the way.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much. That was Andrea Parker. As I said, this is Luca Zanna. I know, guys, you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. I can see once in a while the IP address from Homeland Security and some other .gov agencies. Great. I hope you enjoy the show. This is still America in my book. You may like it or not. We have freedom of speech. Simple as that. Even if the freedom of speech comes from somebody like myself with an accent. Yes, I'm an American myself too. Now, a little bit of a break. The show goes on. And you're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit irritated, a little bit tired, but guess what? I'm here. I'm trying to do my best, okay? Don't go away.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman.
I'm not afraid.
And a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth.
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Here we go back into the studio. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM. And, of course, on United States.FM network. This is the first hour. We just heard Andrea Parker, the wife of Eric J. Parker, what the media called him, or at least some of the media called him, the sniper, the highway sniper on the Bundy standoff. As I said, I was there. He didn't seem to me a sniper at all for many reasons. First of all, a sniper is a different type of situation when it comes down to rifle. But more important, the guy wasn't attacking anybody. His finger was off the trigger. He was in a defensive position, and it was a consequence. His behavior was a consequence when he witnessed innocent American people like myself and many others. I was exercising my freedom of the press right, and many others were exercising their freedom of speech right peacefully. And out of the blue, we see a bunch of freaking military-looking guys pointing rifles at us and screaming through the megaphone, you disperse, or we will shoot you. Guess what? As a fellow American, I beg God, thank God that at least he was there to say, don't shoot at these people. All he was trying to say, don't do that. First, he couldn't talk, but guess what? That's the most natural, let's say, instinct that a good human being would do when you see innocent people threaten to have their life suppressed or somehow, to have a seriously bodily injury. I mean, you're talking about somebody shooting at us, okay? But I wasn't just there by myself. There were other fellow Americans. One of them that I really had the opportunity to meet that weekend, that day, was a man that we became friends after. I'm so proud of that day because it gave me the opportunity to meet great human beings. And one of them, of course, is Ken. Ken from Michigan. Ken Rhodes, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Luca.
Okay, my friend. This is not the final chapter, but let's say it's round one. You heard the story about this somehow kangaroo court, how it ended, but at least it's not a defeat. We were talking with Andrea Parker, the fact that they were hung jury, and there was pretty much a high number of jurors. They were saying, well, no, this is not right. I mean, that's pretty strong, even with all the millions of dollars and tricks that the federal government has been trying to use against these defendants. What do you think?
Look, I think to start with, they use the conspiracy theory to charge these guys on. And if you studied history, that's what they brought the mob down. A conspiracy is very easy to prove. They thought, well, if we use a conspiracy on this, we'll find them guilty because the conspiracy is not that hard to prove. But yet they got no conspiracy charges, period. They got none of them. And that's the main one that they've got Clive and Bundy on. So that's going to be an important one going forward in this trial. Because, to have a conspiracy, you got to have 2 or 3 people to getting together to commit a crime. Well, there's nobody got together to commit a crime to start with. And this is one of the Judge Navarro is one of the worst people I think they could ever have sitting on a jury. Well, I don't know. She might not be any worse than Judge Anna Brown or whatever her name was up in Oregon.
Yeah.
She was pretty bad, too, but they got a not guilty on all of them up there.
Yeah.
But the problem I see here, the attorneys up in Oregon all work together, and the attorneys down here, they're not working together. Some of them didn't even make closing arguments for their clients. These guys should be hung up on with a rope for not doing their job and letting these guys
I have a question,
like
though.
Todd Engel.
Yeah, but I have a question. These attorneys here in Nevada, are they public defendants or they are private attorneys? Because I heard that, who was the attorneys up there in Oregon, there were some private attorneys involved. Am I right or wrong?
I think there was 2 of them. I think Alvin Bundy had a private attorney, and who was the other one? No, I think the rest of them are all public defenders, but they had one real good one up there. I forget his name, the one they tased.
Well, I'm
after
glad.
the verdict.
I'm glad because sometimes
Comfort.
public defense it's an interesting job. I mean, some people they really believe in what they're doing. They try to do the right thing. Some others they just think they're going 9 to 5, and I'm sorry, they just go along with the program. Whatever the easiest way to get out of there. But as I said, there are exceptions too, and I'm glad at least in Oregon seems to work out. I hope yes, things gonna get better the next round. But do you agree with me? It could be also worse because even with all these, let's say, not exactly top-notch attorneys and all the resources that the federal government they've been using, and more important with the tricks. I mean, they not even part of the of the witnesses that they also not just witnesses. They are for me part of the case. Like Special Agent Dan Love. He was not allowed to testify. I mean, that's disgusting. I mean, they were pulling so many tricks, and still.
Yeah, but Luca, you got to stop. Daniel P. Love, the prosecutor didn't want to bring him in, but why didn't these guys push the issue? These attorneys that they can subpoena him in as a witness.
Yeah.
I don't care whether the judge wants him in or not. They could. How come none of them subpoenaed him in?
Exactly. I agree with you. That attorney should have subpoenaed that. You're right. You're completely right. Why not that? Wow.
Right.
You're right. Wow.
And Todd Engel, the one that got it the worst, they found him guilty on 2 charges, which I think is totally unjust in our court system. That guy only came up there to see. I think he just got out of the military or something. Came up there to see what was going on. And he ends up getting found guilty for trying to hinder public or government officials from doing their job and carrying a gun across the state.
Yeah.
Now, that to me, that is crazy. Now, they found another one guilty of 8 out of the 10 charges. His name was Greg Burleson.
Mm-hmm.
But he was proven in court. They come out in court that he was a FBI informant.
Yeah.
So I don't care what they do. I really don't care what they do to him.
No,
He'll never spend a day in jail if he's really one of their informants.
Well,
they found him guilty, but they're not going to do anything to him.
But remember something, that's not true. There was another case in the past, a few years ago. I'm sure you're familiar with that. It was let's say they call himself, like some sort of a white supremacist talk radio guy that he was talking about. It was pretty successful on the internet, and he was talking about going and getting judges and beating them up and stuff like that. I mean, he got charged for that crime, and then he in court he came out that he was working with the FBI. And the judge said, I don't care, and he spent a couple years in jail. I'm sure you're familiar with the name. I forgot now. But anyway, the point is, I don't really believe that the FBI, after all, they're going to dare to save you because, unfortunately, they use you and then they pretty much throw you away like a dirty piece of toilet paper, pretty much. That's what they do. But
right, well, that may be true in his case, but, he was sitting in there hearing he was going to the meetings with all the attorneys and all them clients, and then he was knowing what they were saying, what their strategy was going to be, and everything. And so, and I guarantee the judge knew he was an FBI informant. She knows what's going on. She let the prosecution go for 3 weeks, telling all the officers how they was afraid they was going to die and all this, and they was calling their wives and their girlfriends. They didn't look scared to me, did they? To you, when I was at the gate, they didn't look like any of them was afraid they was going to die.
Yeah.
They had all kinds of guns pointed at us.
Exactly. No, it is weird. It is weird. But at this point, all we can do is keep pushing. And I must tell you something important. This is more important. Of course, I really feel for our fellow Americans. They're sitting and rotting. And, this could be a devastating, completely life-changing event. I mean, their life already changed. The fact that they had to spend almost 2 years in jail. But at the same time, if justice does not prevail here, the consequences could be unlimited because it's not going to just be used against them, but can be used against any one of us, anyone in the future who want to go out and exercise the American right, the human right of peacefully protesting. They can say, oh, you are here for a conspiracy. Yeah, a conspiracy that I want to expose the freaking corrupted government. It's my right as an American to express myself. That's the conspiracy. No, they're going to make it now that if you get together 1 or 2 more people, and you don't like what the government has to say, guess what? You can become a traitor or some sort of a conspirator. And that's scary because, we're next, my friend. And, as I said, I would do exactly everything, but my name and probably even your name came out in trial. I know for sure that mine at least came out during when Andrea Parker was there, just because I was there shaking hands with Eric J. Parker and Scott. And by the way, I also, I had probably to wash it with Clorox. I also shook hands to Greg Burlens of that day, for God's sake. But my point is, yes, I was there, and I have the right to shake hands with people I want. Besides that, I was member of the media. I also am there as a human being, and I can express my opinions. So that's the scary thing that people don't understand. If this travesty of justice will go through, then the gates of hell, they're going to be open. And every one of us and our sons and daughters will be in danger. What do you think about this?
Oh, I absolutely think you're 100% right, because actually, if you go back to this, and she only let them bring in the day of under the bypass in the wash. Well, the day before that, I'm sure you went there the same way I did. I went there to protest. I didn't go there to shoot somebody or get shot at, to be honest with you. The sheriff came over that day and told us that they were leaving. They were going to we could go and take the cattle back. We waited like an hour and 10 minutes, and we went over, we were facing guns.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know whether I would have went over or not if I knew we were going to have guns pulled on us. I went there for a protest. I didn't go there for no battle with the government.
Of course
but
not.
But she won't let that come out. She won't let that be brought in, that the sheriff come on and lied to all of us, Gretzky, and told us that they was leaving, and we could go get the cattle. When we went over, you just said what we was facing. We was facing guns, and none of them looked like to me they were scared. Matter of fact, they were very arrogant at what they were doing. They were very capable and very willing to shoot all of us if they'd got the orders, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's scary, and the fact that if they were doing the same behavior with illegal aliens faces south the border, they would be all sued. Probably they would be, oh my gosh, how dare you to point a loaded gun to illegal alien. No, they were doing this to American people on American soil, and that's disgusting. That's disgusting, and I feel sorry for these bastards, because at the end, one day they're going to retire, they're going to go home, they're going to probably get old if they're lucky, and guess what? They're going to look at themselves in the mirror before they die and say, I was such a piece of slime. What I was doing to my fellow Americans, they were trying to exercise not just their right, but they were trying to wake up the rest of us. Because what's happening here, even though they know, even them they know, this is the corporate takeover. Right. This is a destruction of the individual rights or property rights. This is beyond the cattle. This is beyond BLM. And they know what's going on with the Chinacom, with the Irie Reid, the corrupted bastard that, I can tell you, Irie Reid, Senator Reid, my ass, you are a corrupted bastard just to call us, American people, domestic terrorists. That's all we are. And guess what? You are a corrupted piece of crap. That's what you are. So anyway, my point is this. These BLM agents, they knew that they were doing the Gestapo job. For some reason, there was no reason to do that. We weren't a threat. So anyway, but beside that, they follow the orders. And guess what? You're going to live the rest of your life with this. Hope you're going to, one day you're going to remember that. Meanwhile, we do what we have to do, and we don't stop. By the way, that is the talk. Go ahead, please.
But look at, not one attorney questioned the jurisdiction. Did the BLM didn't own that land? That was state land. What gave them the jurisdiction to go down there and pull guns on American citizens?
You're
not
right.
One attorney ever brought that up that I know of, and what about the jurisdiction? They didn't have the jurisdiction to go down there on state land and say she called it federal land all through that trial. It was federal land. It wasn't federal land. It's state land, and nobody brought up the jurisdiction on that. So these attorneys, obviously, they don't care, or they think, well, we're going to be back in front of this judge next week, and we got to work with her or him, or we don't get on the bad side of it, because I don't understand it, because they didn't do their job, or we wouldn't even have a hung jury. We'd have had it all not guilty.
I agree. You said exactly good point, man. I mean, there was a state land, and as I said, unfortunately, public defenders sometimes they're not the sharpest. Sometimes they don't care much. Sometimes, you know what? Unfortunately, they still get their paycheck from the state. That's the problem. From the government, that's another problem. So, and sometimes they're also good people. Don't get me wrong. There are some that really try to do their job. But it's I wouldn't put my life in a public defender if I had the situation, unfortunately. But at least I try to look at the positive side right now. Could be worse right now. Could be a complete defeat. So it's like almost a temporary, let's say, armistice, or let's say delay for the final battle in court, of course. And I hope we're going to have, I don't know. I don't want to call it luck. Just justice. That's all we need. Real justice. List, anything else you want to tell me? Something's going on, something's important, about anything?
No, let me tell you, because you got listeners. There's a book that was wrote by William Cooper. It's called Behold the Pale Horse. And he got killed a few years back.
Yeah.
Because they tried to kill him several times. Well, I sent you the link to it so you can listen to it. It's 3 hours long, but man, what he was saying back several years ago, right today, is very, very true. So I'd recommend, if you get a chance to go back and listen to that. It's 3 hours, so I know it's kind of hard for most people, but man, that's an excellent. And that guy undoubtedly was a true patriot of American citizens and America.
Yeah, it was, for me, it was one of the first books I bought years ago when I started my library. It's an incredible book. It's almost like visionary. I mean, this man knew exactly what was going to happen, from the false flags into schools for gun control, United Nations. I mean, it is prophetic. And also the way he was killed, unfortunately, was really, I don't even want to call it mysterious. For me, it was an assassination. Simple as that. But what can I say? He tried to warn us. And it's true.
Right.
It was a true patriot. You're right. And I invite everybody who wants to discover the truth, at least try to learn. Please buy his book. You can go on Amazon. Yes, I like the audio version too. Sometimes I lay down and just close my eyes. But I like to have the hard copies, because something happens to the system. The computers start to, get these purges. They start to delete the books and stuff and everything. Even on Amazon, for example, I was talking last Sunday. This book is called The Silent Invasion by Scott Gulbranson, okay? And I talked about this the last show. I mean, this investigative reporter, he was exposed in 2002 the troops, the presence of troops on the southern borders. They were like Chinese, Oriental troops and Russian troops, and they have camps just outside, the other side of the borders. And border patrols, they were intimidated by the higher ranks to don't talk, and more important, to let trucks go through. And they found in the trucks weapons and ammunition coming from China. And the fear of this man was that there was going to be planned this sort of a silent invasion by a group of nations, like, for example, the Russia, Chinese, and Korean alliance, to infiltrate America in the last 10, 15 years. And when the time comes, we already been invaded. And this guy, for example, his book now is completely unavailable. There are only a few copies available on Amazon. A soft cover that used to cost like $14 now is on sale for $2,000 from different vendors. So that's why I'm saying, guys, books like this, like William Cooper books, get them till you can, because they something strange may happen. You never know when they're gonna be completely cut off. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
All right.
I made DVDs of this Behold the Pale Horse, because I could see what he's saying back then. And I'm not saying that Gary Hunt is a federal agent, because I have no clue whether he is or not. But it was rumored that he was there at the setup when they killed William Cooper. It's just a rumor, so I don't really know. But I tell all of them down there in Nevada, they should know who this guy is before they keep associating with him. He may be a perfectly good guy, I don't know.
Well,
but if there's a doubt on somebody, I don't think you should be associating with them until you find out who they are.
Well, it's interesting. I tell you, I give him a chance to be on the show with the producer and director of the documentary A Noble Lie that I had a few weeks ago. But, he disconnected me from Facebook, of course. He blocked me. And also from, from Skype. So, It's very strange, but what can I say? At that point, everybody can decide what they want. All I wanted to give him a chance to talk about his site. Listen, I want to thank you, Ken. Please, let's pray, let's be in touch, and let's see what happens in the next few weeks. By the way, I'm really concerned about Trump going crazy and starting World War III. What do you think?
Oh, man. You know what? If things turn out the way it looks like they're going to, we may have Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea all coming at us at the same time.
Yeah.
This is the most stupidest thing that he could have ever done, Luke, as far as I'm concerned.
No, I am true. You're right. And that's exactly why I was bringing up last week or so this book by this author, Scott Gulbranson. That, by the way, there was the last interview I heard about him was on Alex Jones in 2003, 23rd of June, 2003. And he was very worried about his family. He was receiving death threats. But guess what? He also had the second book ready. And he said, yeah, I'm going to do what I have to do. I will put the second book out. The second book never made it. And he disappeared as an author. The last news I had that he was working for some sort of a big internet firm in Las Vegas. But 2 years ago was the last post I found on what's supposed to be his website. There are no, his website, like there are no more posts. I wonder if this man is still alive, because I tell you, when you, as a reporter, you start to put out, you find news, or let's say you find the trace of what's going on. Remember the movie The Last Day of Condors, I guess was called, with Robert Redford, when this little, CIA bookworm, find out that real plan for invasion of the Middle East. That was just a movie, but they kill everybody. You remember The Last Days of the Condor?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point. Maybe this reporter really found with this investigative job, the final plan is to bring down America economically, and then, of course, an invasion when we are weak. Like right now, we are the weakest time. Obama pretty much put us down before World War II, pre-World War II levels with our armed force. So we are stretched out and we are demoralized. And of course, our hardware has been going through 17 years of crap in the Middle East. Listen, let's pray, my friend, and let's be in touch next few weeks, okay?
Okay, Luca, thank you for having me on.
All right, thank you. That was Ken Rhodes from Michigan. As I said, we are here. My job is to bring you news and facts. This is not in entertainment. I don't want to say like dramatically, but yes, it is also a dangerous job. If you want to support me, I appreciate it. You can go to www.lovegansfreedom.com. You can find different links. The Zanna Coffee. You can find, for example, the CDs, the new ebook, lyrics and poems. I appreciate your help. That's all I can say. I cannot do this without you. And also, I want you on the show. This show is also your show. Okay, this is not about me talking by myself or the special guest. It's about regular people who want to do extraordinary things. Now, ready for our number 2? We talk about guns. Do not go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna.
You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on United States.fm.